Welcome to day 134. My name's Amanda and this is Getting to Know God. We are using the Children's Bible to get to know God a little bit more and just to get a little bit closer to Him. So we're on day 134 and the title is Long Live King David. It can be found in 2 Samuel verses 2 to 5. Now the king Saul was dead. David could safely return to Israel. He asked God what he should do, and God told him to go south to the city of Hebron, which belonged to David's own tribe of Judah. There he was gladly welcomed, and the people of Judah made him their king. Meanwhile, Abner, Saul's general, fled for his life to the north of the country, taking with him Ishbosheth, Saul's only remaining son. Abner proclaimed Ishbosheth king of all of the north of Israel. For a time there were two kings. David ruled in the south and Ishbosheth in the north. Joab, David's army leader, and Nab were great rivals. Both wanted the king they served to be the king over the whole of Israel. The two of them planned to fight between 12 of David's best men and 12 of Ishbosheth's soldiers to try to settle the matter. When neither side could beat the other, terrible fighting broke out between the two armies. The struggle went on for a long time, but gradually David's men grew stronger and Ishbosheth's men grew weaker. In the end, Abner himself changed sides and joined David. I will help you to win over all Israel, he promised him. David was glad to hear of Abner's support, but Joab still hated him. Before long, Joab found an excuse to kill Abner. Ishbosheth himself was put to death by two of the army's officers. David had nothing to do with these murders and was very sad his reign should begin in such a way. By now, 7 years had passed since Saul's death. At last, all the tribes of Israel asked David to be their king. Their leaders came to Hebron, and there they proclaimed him king over Israel. What do you think of that? The key thing that stood out for me was David's first action when he heard that Saul had died. His first action was that he went and asked God. He asked God what he should do and where he should go. And obviously God led him where he wanted him. But the question is, who is the first person that you ask when you're going through challenges? Who is the first person that you think of to consult with when you're having issues, or you've got questions, or you want guidance? Who is that first person? And what is that first person's agenda? Is that first person's agenda to keep you around, to keep you close, so that you don't go for that job interview or you don't apply for that college place? What is that person's agenda? Because often, as humans, we are selfish and we have our own agenda that we want to have met. So in this case, God's agenda is always about us and what's best for us. And I know this quite well as a foster carer. I know that for all the people who are involved in the fostering world, the agenda always and should be the children in the care of whoever the foster carers are. So, just like God, they focus on those children. And God's focus is always going to be on you and what's best for you. Even if you don't necessarily like what he suggests, he can see beyond the initial repercussions of your choice. He can see further along down the journey. And so, whether you choose to take this advice, sometimes it's a good choice to go to God the Almighty, to ask Him, where should you go? What should you do? You're at this crossroads. Where should I go? What should I do? And allow Him to give you the answer, give you the direction in which to take your life, because you do not know what doors He will open, what opportunities He will give you, and what abundance of a life and peace. Because sometimes it's not necessarily about the goods on earth that you will have, but the peace that you will be able to have on earth, as opposed to the riches. Sometimes I believe that peace is worth more than the riches of the world, because you can't buy peace. When your mind is not at peace, that's very difficult to overcome most of the time. So I hope this has helped somebody, and I want to bless you with God's blessing.